All right, we're all ready. You ready? I got the Jeep hooked up, got it neutral, all the wiring, the brakes work, safety cables. Here we go. This is how it's going. We got about, 15 gallons in Ridgecrest. We're gonna fill up in Adelanto. As you can see, the beautiful landscape. It's going all right so far. Thankfully, temperature's good. Getting about, I don't know, 12 miles per gallon or so, which is pretty good for this big old rig. But we will keep you posted. All right, so we're in LA, coming down the 215. Traffic is fantastic. We had a little hiccup trying to get fuel. Tried filling up the diesel in a different town. We already had like a little over half tank, but I wanted to top it off. And it foamed up and wouldn't let me fill it up anymore. So something else I got to figure out, but we'll get it. All right, made it to the campsite. This is March Air Force Base. Little RV park. Not too shabby. It's got a 50 amp hookup, so that was nice. So part of the challenges were, I mentioned this earlier, but the diesel, for whatever reason, it was not being nice. Tried using a high flow pump, like at a truck stop, just came spilling out. The other issue was the we tried to use a smaller pump, still came out. So not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's a vent tube that's blocked or something, but we'll figure that out. But we made it 3 hours. We are near Riverside, California, so it's about a 3.5 hour trip because of traffic mostly on the 215 coming down from Ridgecrest. But great little rig. Did awesome going up the hills, even with that pig on the back. Thinking I've got about 10 miles per gallon, which is really good for this size of a RV, because I believe, does it say? I don't think it does. I think it's a 38 footer, so not too shabby. One of the downsides of driving the diesel is the price of diesel. Of course, we are in Southern California, so it's $5 a gallon. But anyway, we were able to get some fuel in it, so we're happy about that. We'll keep trucking. All right, well, we have made it back from March Air Force Base, and that is near Riverside, California, back up to Cal City. I will say, coming up that mountain, I was a little nervous because going down is one thing. It's got the Jake brake, so it did pretty good. Was able to slow itself down pretty good. But coming back up the mountain, I was a little concerned, but I averaged about 50 miles per hour up that mountain, which is great. Didn't overheat, stayed around 180, 185 degrees. Didn't puke its guts in the back, AKA the coolant. But for those interested, I wanted to show you this setup. This is top of the line that you can get from Harbor Freight. This is the Hallmaster, rated for 5,000 pounds, and you know, it did good. No complaints, no death wobble. So that was great, because I don't know what I would have done if it had started that, but it did not. So I have the brackets installed like so underneath the bumper, and that was to ensure I had as level of a bar as possible to the hitch. It's a 2-inch ball. And then I've got these cables. They're rated for about 11,000 pounds each. Not sure on how accurate that is, but you know, anything over 5,000 each is good. But also have the breakaway switch, so in case the Jeep were to break away, I don't know how well it would stop, but it would. The point is, it'll stop. It has an Invisibrake that will pull the brake. It actually does it whenever I stop, but it'll also pull it if it'll stop if that pin is pulled. Anyway, I can't really estimate the mileage at this moment. once I get fuel in Ridgecrest, top it off, I'll be able to calculate what it did. But I averaged about 10 or 11 on the way there, probably more like 8 on the way back. But considering this is a 38-foot RV, I think it's about 21,000 pounds as we have it, plus the 4,800 pounds of the Jeep, it's about at max capacity for what they recommend pulling. But yeah, pretty proud of the beast. So Becki and I made it home last night about, I think it was about 9:30. Took about 20 minutes longer than we expected to get from California City back to Ridgecrest, but I know that's from having to travel about 15 miles an hour slower than everybody else. So I'm sure the people behind me were not very happy about that, but we got home safely. The winds were crazy coming home, and they usually are on the 14 coming back from, or I'm sorry, going north on the 14 towards Bishop, especially between Lake Isabella and the Ridgecrest turnoff. But anyway, survived. I did want to record a little bit of that, but I decided I wanted to live more than try to record. So, but very happy with the rig. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but it is a 5.9, I believe 285 horsepower Cummins Diesel. And I was a little concerned about the horsepower and the mileage, having the Jeep hooked up on the back, but it did very well. I'm surprised. And coming up the mountain, I probably could have pushed it a little more than I did, the Cajun coming from LA back up to Ridgecrest, but I think it's a 12 mile hike at 6% incline in some places, 2,700 feet elevation rise. But again, it never went over 185, maybe 190 degrees that whole time. It is cooler out, thankfully. That probably helped. But, and I'm sure my mileage is terrible going up the mountain. I think it was like 5 is what it was saying on 3.5 to 5 instant miles per gallon readout on my little display I have. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll share more content as I make it.